for help with horse and hound, gravel and spout, shadows and sound. Your black shoes scream, marble halls may lead to a future less clear. Look past right, gonna take you over and down. Golden place in a desert state, gonna take you over and down. Silver sheet, come with me, a secret place, old Joe Smith way. He preached you can't explain. Never took that too hard, dark from the start. The trees don't change you, that tree don't change. Gonna take you over and down. Golden place in a desert, gonna take you over and down. Come with me.
I believe I used the MPDI-4 at near Z's studio, who's a drummer in Nashville, and he has a ton of burl and undertone gear, and he's got a pretty streamlined tracking setup since his drums stay set up. So he was dialing in the sounds, but man, he gets some of the best drum sounds I've ever heard in my life, and he's really particular about how things sound. So to me, I would think there's a reason why he uses that gear, you know, and to me, that's a pretty good, trusting person to refer to for that stuff.
The way the group formed, Sunday State, basically Michael and I have known each other for 20-some years or whatever it is. Now we were moved to Portland around the same time, and we played in various rock bands at the time and played shows together, and you know, time passed, and I guess maybe about a year and a half ago, Michael approached me and was like, hey, I've got some stuff I really think you could be a part of, and sort of sent me demos, and we kind of jumped right in and started doing a little bit of recording, just some basic stuff in the basement kind of thing, and one thing led to another. Next thing we knew, we were recording a record here at Jackpot, and yeah, the rest is kind of history. But I think, we've always had a mutual love for a lot of similar music in a lot of ways, but come from kind of different places musically at the same time. So we're kind of putting those two things together and making this, basically made the band.
This is Jackpot Recording Studio, and in 1996, I had a home studio called Laundry Rules, and it was just getting too busy. My roommates were losing their minds and started looking for a place to do a commercial studio. And I ended up driving around town with Elliott Smith, and I found out he wanted to do a studio as well through a mutual friend. And so we ended up getting a space together that was ostensibly my business, but he was going to have a prorated deal to come work there. And so we moved in, built a wall, and his album Either Or came out like a month or two later. We recorded a demo that ended up nominated for an Oscar for the song Miss Misery from Good Will Hunting within that first year or so. Everything went kind of nuts. But it started off just a real low-key place, just a real shack. I just knew a lot of people that wanted to make records. The S3Vs, to me, once we changed the EQ settings on them, and that brought the mid-range kind of forward, and that is the kind of response that I need to work when tracking, for like any kind of monitor situation. Whereas sometimes speakers to me just sound too nice, and they're playing nice, and they sound like, oh, that'd be great for listening to music at home and relaxing. In the studio, I want things to kind of push at me a little and make me react and work harder. And the S3Vs were just like, okay, there's all the information I need right in front of me at a really full range. I think the mid-range driver to me really made me feel comfortable and just that I was getting exactly what I wanted right off the bat. It was really cool. Easy, I could go to a studio and work on those in a heartbeat, in my opinion. I was like, okay, I got it.
One thing that comes up a lot in my conversations with colleagues and things I read on boards online is what do you put on your two bus? I'm a big fan of external summing. I'm kind of making my way through the most popular ones right now. On this session, I used the SPL Mix Dream, which I like quite a bit. Tons of headroom. Out of that, I go into an old Red 3 from Focusrite. The 3-to-1 ratio, not doing a whole ton of like limiting, that kind of thing. It's just it's a great glue device. And then I go out of that into a Red 2, where I'm taking a little bit of the rumble, come to the mud out at 33, doing a little bit of a low end bump at 95. And then kind of on a really wide cue, I'm doing kind of a 6K slight bump just to help out the guitar and the vocal and the guitar and the snare kind of situate themselves. And then I run all of that through a pair of double wides, which is doing basically no dynamics processing. It's just adding tons of harmonics and tube goodliness. And then I took it into channels 1 and 2 of my Focusrite 8 Pre with their parallel converter technology. I just got tons and tons of headroom and clarity. I absolutely love these converters. So that's pretty much it. Results will vary. Try them all.
Since AEA came out with R84, I had one at the studio here. We got the 44, which is the stripped down version. It doesn't have all the fancy metalwork and stuff, but the same motor inside as the fancy 44s. They're more reproduction of the old RCAs. And then we got an R92 a while back too. And I've just always, those mics to me always, I love ribbon mics first of all. And the AEA stuff just brings a certain sort of depth to it that I really love. I use other brands as well and I like them. And the AEA have a certain vibe to them. And today we use the N22.
N22.
Which I really like that on the bass amp.
Yeah.
That's
and
really full range, like bite to it.
Yeah.
Everything was good.
Yeah.
And on the guitar.
And the R88 on overheads, which if I go to a studio that has an R88, that's kind of my go-to overhead, and today it proved why.
Welcome to Jackpot Recording, a beautiful large format studio in the heart of Portland, Oregon, and run by Tape Op's very own Larry Crane and studio manager Gus Berry. Jackpot has hosted countless acts throughout the years, including She and Him, Slater Kinney, Quasi, REM, and Elliott Smith, and is home to some of the finest gear and finest ears in all of professional audio. Jackpot's heart of the control room is a beautiful 48-input Rupert Neve Designs 5088 console, along with two 24 and 16-track tape machines, countless pieces of classic outboard gear, and over 100 vintage and modern microphones to fit each and every need on your session. Jackpot isn't lacking on the instrument front either, with 2 full drum sets, 9 sets of keys, 10 amps, 12 guitars, and countless pedals to choose from. The 600-foot live room features 3 ISO booths along with 1 main live room with 11-foot ceilings, perfect for large, boisterous drum sounds or recording the old-fashioned way with everyone in the same room. Jackpot is a perfect place to have fun, create, and be inspired, with a hardworking staff there solely to help you bring your ideas to life. Visit jackpotrecording.com and book a session today.
We love it here.
Yeah, recording here is it's always a pleasure. I mean, working with Larry, again, going back to our history, we've been, I think, almost all the recordings I've done have been with Larry, either here at the old space, and so it's just super comfortable. It's always fun to record somewhere new, but at the same time, coming back here, it feels a little bit like home, and that's a huge part because Larry's Larry, but also because of the space, and you just know what you're walking into. There's no question marks. So, yeah, it's always really positive.
And definitely not underselling a studio or a room or whatever, but it really is about people more than it is even about microphones.
Yeah.
And historically, what we've worked with Larry back, in the old space, as well as with many bands, in between here, it's like, it's a good place to come in, and it's not sometime about like, oh my God, like the room sounds perfect. It's more that it's a familiar place to cook and come up with a really, hopefully, good meal.
remember is what we found before. What we found before. Wrapping little incidents forever. You come so unknown. You come so unknown. When you can't turn your face. Please don't turn away. Don't turn away. I remember what you told me. Morning stolen, shine like gold. It's when we shine like
I'm loving the headphones. They really made me realize how badly other phones sounded and how much I got ear fatigue from them. The ear fatigue factor, or I should say the lack of ear fatigue with the SP5s is pretty insane. I ended up turning down the volume a lot because I didn't feel like I needed to turn them up to hear what I was wanting to hear. And that's what made me go, oh my God, I've probably been hurting my ears. And I think most engineers probably are hurting their ears by how loud they listen to headphones. And yeah, the transparency from switching from listening to my monitors to listening to the SP5s was pretty incredible too. There's just great space and depth, and the placement of instruments in the mix totally mimicked what I was hearing on the monitors. So yeah, I'm very happy with them.
Well, who knows? Maybe more interesting projects like this one. I mean, we just released our debut record, which was recorded in mono and is also named Mono. And that, even though Kurt and I, we started working on demos together a year and a half ago or whatever it was, like when we decided that we were gonna get together with Larry and record, Steve Turner from Mudhoney was nice enough to come and sit in with us on bass and play, and then Tom's on the record as well. So I guess my point would be, like, things kind of just happened really fast, and then next thing you know, we've got a record. So we're gonna play behind it, but we're of course already daydreaming about the next one.
Yeah.
Stereo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I think that tape-op has made my generation, and I think some of the younger generation, realize there's not a right way and a wrong way to record a drum kit, to record vocals, to make a record. I think by interviewing some of the people who work in crazy cool basement studios, you realize that there's really just a million different ways to get cool, unique sounds and records. Whereas if you Google how to get a great vocal sound, you're gonna find the same 3 mics, the same 3 compressors, but you read tape-op and you go, oh my God. Every time I read tape-op, I go, oh, I gotta try that next time. Oh, I gotta try that next time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Thanks for asking people who probably don't know what they're talking about.
Sometimes they don't. I mean, it's amazing, The problem with the art of recording is that we can get all hung up on the technical, and it's just such a small part.
Yeah.
Knowing to recognize really special moments and to see the art that's in front of you and to make people feel safe and comfortable and expressive.
And not get lost in the gear.
Yeah, fuck the gear. I mean, it just doesn't matter. It's like, you can sing into a U47, it sounds fantastic if you do it right, but if you don't coach the person through the lyrics and they're singing off time, and then it sounds like shit. So it's just recorded better. Give me an SM7 and I could do a better job,
Yeah.
That stuff is the hard part, getting really involved and listening to the music intently and hearing what could be better, that's so important.
Bye.